Hi guys, today I want to talk to you about flow states and what flow actually is. We've probably heard the word before, but what does it mean? So flow itself is a direction of movement. It's a continuous supply of energy and movement from one place to the next, smoothly, freely, without hindrance, without resistance, like being in a stream of a river and it's just going, going, going. Now we can access these states of our being in our lives. You've probably experienced them already. In fact, no doubt we've all experienced that state of flow. If you've had a conversation that's just gone smoothly from one to the next, if you've been dancing to music where there's no resistance and you just let go into what is, if you played a game of sports and it's been the greatest game or the best performance you've done, it's generally a state of flow. And what happens in this state of flow is the prefrontal cortex at the front of the brain, it starts to quiet down. It doesn't engage and become more active. The critical part of the brain, the logical, the thinking part, shuts down, which leaves space for other parts of the brain to be active. And in this state of flow, when that is closed down, self-doubt drops, the critical thinking part of our mind, it will always criticize, goes down. So we have more confidence and more freedom as we enter this state of flow. This state of flow gives us energy, it gives us freedom, it gives us expansion. So what happens in this altered state, it's what they call the being in the zone, being in the perfect Goldilocks zone where everything runs smoothly. And how do we get there? Well, often we need practicing something to hit this flow state. For instance, for myself, it was often using the nunchucks or the bow staff. And at first I would hit myself and there'd be pain involved and I wouldn't be able to grab the movement at the right time. So I had to discipline and practice to get there. And then once it was achieved, I could then enter a state of flow. I could start to spin it back, I could start to catch it, and there'd be no thought involved. And I would feel so free, I would feel wonderful, full of energy, and I wasn't thinking about anything in those states. But it doesn't just have to be physical. Again, it can be conversation right now. When I'm talking in flow, I'm talking with enthusiasm and excitement about something that I'm interested in and being able to share it out. Therefore, knowing the subject or knowing the practice or the discipline, you can let go in that state. You can work hard, but then the final moment is when you release and let go and it finds its own perfect pattern, its own energetical source from that. So you get enhanced performance from that state. So how to get into that flow state is we need cultivation. You need to create the right environment. You need for instance, if you want to start your day on a good foot and be in a flow state from the get-go, is have the morning set out. If you've got meditation, you have a cold shower, or you eat right, or you have an hour to yourself before work, it puts you in a nice state where there are no concerns, there's no stress, and you can start off in a happy way. There's a kind of flow going on there, and that will reach from moment to moment. And obviously daily worries and concerns might leak in, and that can throw us off a little bit, and the flow state can be tarnished from there, but we can always try and cultivate it to bring it back together. And how you can use it for your daily benefit is having a routine to make this a regular practice. There's something called the runner's high, which you may be familiar with, where they say if you go out for a 20-minute run, it doesn't have to be hardcore and intense, but you get the body working, you get the body active, and you get that runner's high when you're feeling good and the endorphins are pumping, you're taking in oxygen, taking in all that breath, which is helping the state of the mind and the body. So from there you can be in that state of flow and you can then use that to your own advantage. And what happens with that result is freedom, is energy, is feeling good because of the flow state. So we can use it for your disciplines and using it for your practice to enter it and to use it by your own means. It doesn't just have to be something that's out far reach for one certain thing. When I'm doing my nunchucks, when somebody's making music, it's practice first and then you can live in that flow state more and more often. And as you become aware of what that state of flow is, you become more familiar with it. So you know when you're in it or when you're out of it. And that becomes key to increasing these beneficial, these positive states of mind for our whole entire lives, because we become aware of it. You know what happiness feels like. You know what expression feels like. You know what joy feels like. You'll know what flow feels like. Cultivate the environment externally to create it internally. And then you get to live in it more and more often. Then you can become the master of it and understand it better and cultivate it so you know, I'm in a bit of a funk today, I'm a bit angry. Right, I need to get in a flow state. Okay, I know what to do. I know that if I go running for 20 minutes, it'll do it. I know if I listen to a certain music or a certain song, that'll pick my mood up and bring me more to either a happy space or a flow state. Know yourself through it and know what knocks you out of it. Know what's upset you, know what's dragged you away. And then when that occurs, you already know where to go to help change that state. The flow state itself is beautiful, it's artistic, it's creation, it's expression. You'll see it a lot in performances, whether it's acting, and the actor loses himself in the character. He's in that state of flow of being, in that state of being that person without the thought of, is it going right, am I doing well? Same with a dancer or a musician performing, or a conversation, or an athlete performing. They can't be thinking, is this going right, am I doing good? It's, okay, I've done the practice, I've done the work, now let go, be in that state and let it do its thing through you and feel that energy moving it. So find your own flow state, guys. Write down the things, what it is. It activates your flow state, how you can induce your own flow state, how we can shut off the inner critic, the prefrontal cortex can lower us down, and we let that energy come through. You express, you feel emotion, and you feel great. So that's all I've got on flow state today, guys. Any comments, as always, drop it in the comment section below or send me a message. And yeah, go out and find your flow state and enjoy life.